the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office plays a pivotal role in raising funds for critical government programs, including healthcare, education, and sports development. In 2024 alone, the PCSO remitted over 708 million pesos to various government agencies and provided nearly 4 billion in charity assistance. As the gaming industry shifts toward digital platforms, the agency faces opportunities and challenges in modernizing its services while addressing public concerns over accountability and accessibility. Joining us today is PCSO General Manager Mel Robles, the man at the helm of the nation's largest charity and gaming organization. GM, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Rain, and thank you for inviting me here.
Welcome to Follow the Money. Now, the PCSO remitted over 708 million pesos to government agencies like PhilHealth, Commission on Higher Education, and the Dangerous Drugs Board last year as mandated by law. How much of total revenues has this comprised so far? Can you kindly walk us through how these funds are generated, allocated, and remitted, and what role they play in supporting essential government services?
Well, I think it's a bit higher than what you quoted, like PhilHealth. 40% of our charity fund goes to PhilHealth. So it's the bulk of our charity. And we have automatic earmarkings for, yeah, you are right, for CHED and the Dangerous Drugs Board. In sports, even Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, they benefit from us. But I'd like to dwell on the topic of digitalization because again, our biggest activity is medical assistance to our countrymen. They come to us after we're called the last mile, because in the scheme of things, you go first to PhilHealth. From PhilHealth, you get assistance from DOH, DSWD, and if you have local government units, and if it doesn't still suffice, then you come to PCSO, where most likely we pay the remaining balance. And digitalization of these services is very important to us, and even the security, because this is still open to scammers. We've had incidences of people trying and attempting to scam the government by falsifying our guarantee letters. But that is the challenge that we're facing. But still, digitalization, when applying for medical and guarantee letters, is still better because it's faster and you spare the people from, costly transportation cost and the queue. So this is one aspect where digitalization can really help us.
We'll continue with the digitalization talk a little bit later, but you mentioned the scammers. How much of your digital transactions had been falsified already?
For the games, it's a lot. They run into billions. In fact, we sued a company who was using our draws and even collecting on our behalf to the tune of about, just one company, about 4.7 billion, if I'm not mistaken, in only a period of 14 months. And it's now pending in Mandaluyong. So while it is also a boon to gaming, especially now we haven't launched fully our digitalization pending, where we have to wait for some approvals, no? But obviously the illegal operators have already jumped on the gun, and they're using it to the hilt. In fact, this may surprise you, we have monitored at least 300 entities and corporations and companies or individuals engaging in illegal lotto, meaning they are using our draws and they're collecting to the GCash or even different payment platforms. So just to give you an idea, that's how much, just for one company, we're losing about 4 billion. That's what's on record. So we don't have the exact figure right now, but it's really something that we should look at.
Definitely.
We really have to launch our own digital offensive or our own digital platform for gaming. As I've said, there are two aspects of digitalization: the services and the gaming. So
Right.
that these are the figures that the minimum figures, I think. And this means less money for charity and less money for taxes because we are also a revenue generator. Remember, every time you pay, there is a documentary stamps of 20%. So, and then when you win, you're still taxed another 20% for the taxes on winning. So there is a lot that government is getting from PCSO. We're talking about probably 15 billion annually for taxes alone.
Right. GM, you already mentioned that 4 billion potentially lost with just one company alone, but you also hinted that the PCSO did gain a lot from online transactions. Can you kindly share with us by how much you've been able to grow your revenues because of your online platform?
Well, as I've said, we haven't. We had a test last year. We tested it, and it looks very promising. But we are awaiting. We haven't, to be clear, we haven't launched any of a digital platform for public. Of course, internally, the outlets, they do digital, but for the public to pay, if you meant the public paying on their phones or on their computers, we are ready for that. We're just awaiting some approvals, but we haven't started that. But we have already tested it, and it looks very promising.
Right.
So that is also the reason why we are going slow. We haven't pursued the illegals yet because we don't have an alternative. But one thing is sure, the people are already ready for it. That's why they're even engaging even the illegal activities
Right,
on the.
right. Right.
Well,
So, which means that in your initial pilot run, I was one of them. If we're talking about e-lotto, I tried it out myself. It's incredibly easy to use, and it's kind of exciting. And I can imagine a lot of people getting into it. It's just that in your initial testing period, how many users were you able to generate? Was there already some kind of estimate as to how much you could generate per month just on that platform alone?
well, for the test run, for 6 months, we were able to generate more than 400,000 subscribers for that. Yeah, it was put on hold, but uh, the experience of other countries, other lottery operators, is that at the minimum, it can double your sales. So if we're doing about 35 billion for the year, in a couple of years, you would probably double it. So it's very promising. And not only that, the convenience of doing e-lottery, a lot of advantages. For example, in the last six typhoons that hit the country, we lost on our traditional betting. We lost about almost 2 billion because they were flooded. They were swept away for six different locations. So we had an operating digital platform payment, then we could have mitigated the effects of the typhoon. And not only that, the issue on anonymity. Remember, when you bet on a traditional outlet, it gives you a ticket, and whoever holds that ticket is the winner. It's called bearer instrument, no? So that will no longer be a problem, the anonymity, if there are some security issues, because when you're registered, you know exactly who will win. And in fact, another thing that's also advantageous to the players is that we gain a lot from uncollected tickets, 200 to 300 unclaimed tickets. With digitization, there will be no more unclaimed tickets because they'll have to go through your wallet, and from your wallet, then you can bet again. But right now, about 200, 300 million a year are declared undeclared winnings. So,
Just GM,
yeah.
for the benefit of the critics, of course, at this point, with the unclaimed tickets that you're mentioning, Last year, we had that controversy about how the claim tickets was showing people who won, but with their faces slightly altered. This time you're saying unclaimed tickets, but it's not going to election coffers, is that correct? It is still going to your typical charity assistance
You know,
modalities or programs.
Rain, PCSO has been here for 90 years. It has always been subjected to intrigue. So this is not something that is not new to PCSO. Maybe you would think that it's something new, but since time immemorial, you cannot stop the critics and the malicious minds. It's been there. I do not own this. It's not exclusive to me. But maybe it's more easier now to give your 2 cents worth, if I may call that. But really, the system is if that's why if you would notice, we're not overreacting because we know what we are doing. We have the systems in place. We have agencies, third-party agencies, organizations checking on us, and that is integral to our operations. The integrity and security of the game. So now,
GM?
where do unclaimed winnings go? They go to charity because we don't retain any. They either go to taxes or to charity. That's where it goes.
GM, after the pandemic, have you seen whether the revenues of PCSO has steadily grown year on year? Will this growth in revenues would be able to accommodate the Supreme Court ruling to also remit some of your funds to the Philippine Sports Commission? Plus, how big a thing is it for the World Lottery Association to grant PCSO a level 2 certification? Does that mean more security for the players?
Well, that is something significant because not you have to work for it. It's not something that's just given, no. So there are steps and there are activities to be done to get that second level. In fact, we're still going up. It's up to level 4. No, but in the Philippines, actually, for PCSO in particular, while we engage in, we are conscious of the responsible gaming, it is not as much as a problem as other games because PCSO is a passive gaming. I mean, you do not engage in it. Like in our case, there are only 3 draws a day. So you can bet and do your thing. You can bet in the morning and wait for the next draw in the afternoon. So it is something that will not disrupt. The game itself is not disruptive to people's lives and to their activities. But just the same, looking forward, we are preparing already. We don't have to wait for the problem to erupt. We've seen the problem with the isabong. It was successful, yes, in terms of I'm sure the income, but with the social cost, that is where it had a problem. And so social cost, political acceptability, these are all tackled in responsible gaming. If an agency is conscious about this, then they would do self-regulation. For example, no betting for minors. No
Understood.
betting. There should be rigid KYC. Not even with the parents. For example, if the parent is in the car and then he would tell his kid or child to please bet for me, that's not allowed, even with the parent. No? And
Understood.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, GM, perhaps we're down to our last minute, but we just saw a report today that some people are getting addicted to gambling, not specifically lotto, but lotto betting is often seen as both entertainment and a chance at life-changing rewards. It also affects consumer budgets. You were mentioning the social costs as well. How many Filipinos here, what would you say has to be the responsible mandate when it comes to placing bets on PCSO's platforms? How do we make sure that it doesn't pose a financial constraint on consumers?
There are no hard and fast rules, of course, because it depends on your income, which one, who decides on what is your disposable income. No, it's very difficult. But there is a study for Filipinos abroad that I saw that says they are for a day they can invest about or spend about $4 a day. These are for the Filipinos abroad. I haven't seen one in the Philippines because in the Philippines, the bettors get excited with bigger jackpots. No, it's not a daily thing. Yeah, a lot of Filipinos bet only when the jackpot reaches 75 million or higher. Yeah.
Yeah. Such a short interview, such a short conversation. I feel like we have lots more to talk about, but we're grateful that you made time for us. Thank you so much, General Manager Mel Robles of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, for sharing your insights on the PCSO's 2024 milestones, plans for digital transformation, and how the agency continues to support critical government programs while navigating an evolving gaming landscape. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Rain, and to all your viewers.
Grateful, sir.